Ruben, good to see you. It's this weird period now between Christmas and New Year where nobody really knows what day it is, but I assume for you it feels like business as usual.
Yeah, that's the thing playing football, especially in England. You never stop. So you count the days like any other manager, like -3 days to the game, -2, -1. There is no Sunday, no Monday, no nothing. So that's I think is every manager lives like that.
Did you manage to have a little bit of a Christmas though during the time?
It was hard, but it was fun. I was preparing the game, Newcastle game, and then when you win, and my family arrived in that day, so it was fun.
Must have been a good game for them to go to as well. If that's the day that they arrived and they saw that, how were the family feeling?
Not just the family, but the fans. I think the environment was really good. I think they help us a lot with the problems that we have in the moment. We felt the support. The way we defend in the second half was not just 11 guys, but it was everyone on the bench, and especially everyone in that stadium. Some fans were asking to attack, but we tried. But in the end, we won.
In terms of this next game being Wolves' last game of 2025, I thought it was a nice opportunity, I suppose, to look back on the year and reflect on how you think this year has gone so far.
It was a roller coaster, a little bit like not like last season, but if I remember correctly, the year was tough. This moment last year was really tough. That period, I learned a lot. We did a lot of changes in the club. Not just in the team, but in the club, the changes in every department. I think we are a healthier club. We are a better club, and we are preparing the future. So if you compare the beginning of this next year compared to the last season, I think we are in a better position.
Is there a moment that stands out for you in 2025?
We had some moments, but it was never that feeling of fulfillment that we are being consistent. But we had our moments, the Lyon game at Old Trafford, Athletic Bilbao when we settled to reach the final was a very good feeling. But yeah, we had some moments.
Let's talk about the last game then, Newcastle. Did it feel like a really satisfying win for you, that one?
It was different. I think if you see our games, we are a team that create a lot of chances. We dominate the games, but we did a very good first half. But the second half was different. But everything that I'm saying for the last 3-4 months that we are playing better, but sometimes in the details, the way we defend the box, everything we lack that urgency, was the opposite. So it was a good feeling to understand that we can win some games that sometimes we cannot dominate, but we can win if we are really focused during the 90 minutes.
Is that something that you want to see more as well from the players, is when you are changing things around a little bit, you're obviously missing a couple of players as well, that you can surprise the opposition in what you're doing?
We always talk about that, but when I arrived, I remember that everyone talked about the identity. And you have to build something. You have to stick with one plan. The process is not going to. If we have to adapt since day one, it's hard for them to stick with the principles. So today is a different moment. We can change, but tomorrow they will remember everything that we did in the last game, playing in a different way. So we are trying to do that. And then, of course, I'm learning that sometimes we need to adapt to the players that we have, and we did. We had some problems in the last season, and this season I just tried to be a little bit better and to help the players to, even with some difficulties, because I felt that in our build-up, because it was different, we had some difficulties, especially in the second half, but we can change things and to help us to win games.
How important is it for you as a manager to have players that are versatile, that are very open when you say, instead of playing on the left today, I want you to play on the right in a more attacking position? Of course, playing against Newcastle into that back four. How important is that for you, though, that you have that trust in your players?
I have, because we have so many trainings. We are working on that in the last month. We are changing things during training. You have one more training in the week. And when you have 4 trainings in the week, I spend one training changing the systems and for them to adapt. So we have more time to train. They are more ready to change during the game. But the principles, if you play with a back 3 or a back 4, it's the same. The rules of who is pressing, who makes the second line, all these things are the same with 3 in the back or 4 in the back. But I think the difference is to have time to train, and they will be ready to change things.
In terms of the flow of the game, the first half performance was really strong, and then the second half struggled a little bit. But in terms of, as a team performance, getting through that victory, to be able to hold on into that second half as well, that must feel like a really satisfying point when you can see that although things might not be going completely your way, you do have the players there to be able to get that clean sheet defensively
I think
as well.
gave us a little bit more confidence, because when you look at the training, especially after Newcastle, we were preparing this game. When you feel that, you look to the training, Bruno is not there, and they feel it. Ahmad is not there. Mason Mount is not there. Kobe Mine is not there. Brian is not there. Nuz is not there. And they still have the feeling that we can win. That is massive for everyone. So they feel more confident. And I felt, especially in these 2 last days, they were really focused. They were not thinking about the win in the last game, but they were really confident. They were working but having fun, and that is the feeling, that they are confident that we can win, and that was massive for us. So sometimes you have a bad moment, a difficult moment, but that can bring us very good things, and that I think was a very good sign.
It's interesting actually that you say that, because I suppose it was the first game without Bruno Fernandes, and everyone's going to be talking about the captain's not playing, how long is he going to be out for? Is that going to affect the team? But to be able to still perform without the players like Bruno Fernandes and the rest that you mentioned there as well, to still have that confidence, to play against a really difficult side like Newcastle, now that you've got this run coming up against Wolves as well before the new year turns, how much confidence does that give you as a manager that you can believe in the players, that they're going to do what you want them to do on the pitch?
It's more with them than with me, because I really believe in them. But the way I prepare Newcastle is completely the opposite that I'm preparing Wolves. Now I'm saying the opposite. We can lose any game, and Grimsby proved that. It doesn't mean nothing to win against Newcastle. It's 3 points. It's the same thing against Wolverhampton. Don't look at the table, look at the games. And I watched the games, and I showed image of the games with the minutes for them to understand that some games of Wolverhampton was so close. So I feel that they are confident, but we are preparing for a very tough match. And I'm showing to the players that we still have a lot of limitation. In Premier League, everything can happen. So Newcastle gave us the confidence, but I'm trying to push back that feeling also to prepare the next one, because it's going to be different.
On Wolves then, you say it's not about looking at the table. So do you feel when you look at their performances that the table doesn't really reflect where they are?
It's completely different. If you look at I watched the game against Liverpool. I watched the game against Arsenal. I watched the game against Villa. Nottingham, they had chances before the game, the goal of Nottingham. And sometimes the team just need one win to feel alive again. So I'm always saying that about our team. Just look at the performance. You cannot change the result. You cannot think about the result. Next one, focus on the performance. And you cannot look at the table. For me, it doesn't mean nothing. They are performing so much better. They are losing because of the details. So I think they deserve more in this moment.
You obviously played them earlier on this month. Does that help in terms of preparation, or does it feel like a completely different game?
No, it's different. It's different because they have different players, and we are going to play with a completely different team. So 2 teams that are going to play, of course, we have our identity, they have their identity, but the characteristics of the players can change completely the way the game is going to be. So we didn't use many images of that game to prepare the next one.
What do you want from your team then, going into this game against Wolves? You're at back-to-back home games now, back at Old Trafford. So what is the key things that you want to see from your side's performance?
I want to see energy. I want to see that urgency of defending, like we defend against Newcastle, in a way that I want to see in the next game. I don't want to see, because we feel that that play, we are in control of that play, so I will not do the extra run. I want to see that. I want to see pace. I want to see runs behind. I want to see energy. That's what I want to see. In the end, I want to see that urgency to win three points, to at least keep our position in the table.
You mentioned about keeping that defensive solidity. One of the players, just spoke to him, Ayden Heaven, who has been really impressive recently. He got the Player of the Match award in that victory against Newcastle. But as his manager, what can you give us about him as a player, and what kind of heights can he reach, do you think, as a player?
That it will depend of several factors. So he needs to understand that in football everything, Newcastle is in the past. People will judge him in the next game. That is important for him. I really like Ayden. He's really humble. Maybe because it was hard for him to get at this point. He was in Arsenal, he was not playing, and then arriving here, he had the opportunity, so he can value every moment in every training. He worked really well. He was not playing. Maybe he was the centre back with less minutes, and he was training really, really hard. Then he doesn't make any excuses. Sometimes you give a direction for Ayden, and he just say, "Okay, I understand." And sometimes that detail, it's really important. He's not looking for any excuses why I didn't do this or that. He's not this kind of guy. He's just, okay, I understand. And he improves every day.
He obviously is only 19 years old, playing quite regularly now because of the players that you've got out. In terms of having leaders around him, especially in defence, how important is that for you? And who do you sort of rely on to make sure that he's got that?
I don't have that feeling when I put Ayden that he's going to struggle. He's really confident. And I think he's better in games than even in trainings. And that can reveal that he's a leader also. But of course, when you have players like Licha, Harry Maguire, when you train every day with them, he understands what it takes to play for Manchester. But it's not a big concern. When I put Ayden, I'm not thinking I'm going to put this guy on his side to help him during the game. I have not that feeling.
Okay, final one from me, because we're going into January. Are you going to get asked this so much over the month? Have conversations started for the January transfer window? What are you sort of expecting to see?
We have conversations all the time. It's not because we are in January. Of course, we are going to, the window is open. We need to understand what we can do. Not just from the players that we can bring, what is going to happen to our squad. But I'm just thinking about, and that is the good thing of the difficult moments, I'm just thinking about recovering all of my players. So I'm not going to knock on the door of Jason and Omar to ask more players. They know what we need, but I also understand that we have a process. We want to do things with the certainty that we are not going to make the same mistakes in the past. So if we need to suffer in some moments, we are going to suffer to try to push, to give 2 steps ahead, maybe in the summer, I don't know. So it's a really tough market in January, so we'll see.